Welcome to the Rauta Underground Trio. Once again, we have 3 different bands for 3 different parts of the world and 3 different styles. I guess this gets repeated often, but I don't assume anybody to watch all the episodes. So in case you're one of the fans who get to hear all these lines so many times, sorry. That's the price of loyalty, I guess. So first, once again, in alphabetical order and then according to my own opinion, from worst to best. Let's start. Alright. First, we'll have One Man Project from Switzerland. This is Funeral Doom or Doom Death, depending how you wanna put it. It is My Death Belongs to You. How dramatic. Then we have from Latin America, Necrogosto, with an MCD which is black metal. Sorry, satanic black noise, not black metal mentioned. And then Finland, Witches Hollow with the second album here. And let's shuffle a bit and then go from worst to best, which is this time exactly the opposite order coming from here. Witches Hollow is the band. It's technically a solo project from 2019 and onwards, now with the second album out. I have actually reviewed third album already in 2024. For some reason, they came out to me in review pile in wrong order, but that it is what it is. Chtonic, Tale of Horrors from the Between. Yeah. This is a weird case because technically speaking, this is labeled as black death metal on the Metal Archive side, and it's kind of a true, but the emphasis is more on the black metal side of things. However, not your typical Finnish sounding black metal one. One man operates this, and gotta say, at least the style is somewhat unique, or at least rare, especially coming from Finland. Here it is, the back inlay. This is self-financed release, so one man doing it all. And there is the perk and the curse of the whole album here. Because, you know, when there is nobody to stop you, nobody to say what to do, what not to do, you're free to do anything, but sometimes it goes quite against whatever you're doing. Here is the information about the release, and then we will go through some lyrical output through this rather thick booklet, which is here with multitude of words, lots of things to be said, some photos in the background. I'm getting a little bit early 2000s vibe with these graphical elements, the aesthetics, if you will. That doesn't downplay the band, but it's kind of giving me old school feeling without being old school in terms of music. Now, mostly this is around mid-tempo. Some parts are very melodic, some are a little bit death metal flavored, but calling this black death could be a little bit misleading, even though that's exactly what Metal Archive's site suggests. Some riffs are more common in terms of black metal, and as such you are probably more comfortable with them, especially if you're coming from black metal background, than some of the others. But what makes this weird is that some riffs don't really seem to fit the bill at all. It's almost like going off-road every now and then back on track. And because there are no, super fast parts, nor exactly doomier parts, it isn't about the tempo changes. It's more like the riff changes are sometimes a little bit off, like what the hell just happened here? The kind of a thing. And while the vocal performance is quite nice and somewhat raw, and I like it, at least, the songwriting is once again a little bit like this and that. It's certainly a lot of up moments, certainly a lot of low moments, and then a bunch of ideas, melodies, or otherwise, which are somewhere in the neutral territory. Overall, I would say this is very much a work in process. It's almost like a demo recording in the format of full album. And I think that is because this is indeed a self-financed release when one man operates just everything. Because, like I said, if there is nobody to produce you, and I'm using produce here in quotation marks, I'm saying when there's nobody to challenge you, and usually all you need is a couple of band members to saying like, maybe this riff isn't that good, or maybe we should try a different drum pattern there, maybe we should try removing this riff or including that melody another time. You get the idea. And that's not happening with the solo project. When nobody is really like saying like, please reconsider that idea, you just kind of do whatever. And another thing is, nobody as good with every instrument. So you're kind of a jack of all trades, master of none when you're handling everything. That doesn't mean that It's just fucked when you do everything by yourself, but it's more like saying you're gonna make compromises. And unfortunately, that kind of shines through with the given music. It's not bad, but I feel it's still very, very much like demo recording era kind of a thing. It's better than the debut, but not necessarily better, but roughly the same level as the third album. If you like the previous ones, or the one that came after this one, that is the other Witches Hollow releases, you're gonna like this one. But if they didn't, make you go, wow, this isn't gonna change your mind. Then Necrogosto, which, if I remember correctly, Brazil. And here it is, a MCD format by 4 guys, Ancestral, Bestiality. They have released more music after this one, so this is a little bit older release coming from my eternal review pile of older releases which were sent to me already when they were old, and as such they have been waiting for their turn. Comes with a glossy digipack. This doesn't last more than, say, 20 something minutes, so less than 30 minutes by far, but it's, I guess, all you really need to figure out the kind of a stuff what we have here. It's basically black thrash in a very, very basic ways. There are no fundamental errors, but not unfortunately, really including the so-called wow moments. I'm saying this is very much like your basic, one of your first recordings when you go black thrash. For me, it kind of lacks the punch, partially because the tempo is not that high and aggressive, which means it's really like holding back a little bit. And I'm expecting more, the energetic and up-tempo stuff when I'm listening to thrasher stuff. So when you don't have it, you really have to kind of back it up with really cool parts. I mean, think about like Slayers Out of Heaven. When you have those killer riffs, you can just pretty much slow down, take it easy, and the evil atmosphere, the grimness is still there. But if you don't, well, you probably have to push a little bit more metal to the pedal in order to sound that you're really thrashing. When it comes to black thrash combinations, yeah, it gets tricky when you're not grim enough for proper black metal and you're not aggressive or violent for thrash metal, and then you kind of fall in between. At least you should have some kind of a hooks, the kind of a, punches and grooves or whatever, in order to do the similar things like or noir. Or you're gonna just sound like, yeah, it's pretty basic. Please do something more next time. So when they promise satanic black noise and I'm getting the kind of a basic black thrash, which is not bad, but kind of a mediocre, color me a little bit disappointed. For fanatics of the given style, sure, the rest of us maybe check out the newer material. And then the winner of the pile comes from this multi-band man, known for many, many other bands. And this is just one of his solo projects. If you check out this one on Metal Archives, that is My Death Belongs to You, you will find it that this guy has around 10 plus bands. Mostly, I guess, known, at least to me, known for Borgne, industrial black metal act, which I got to interview a couple of years ago. The world seems to be fading, with a dramatic title for a dramatic named band and a dramatic cover. Now, I guess it's right to call this Funeral Doom. Back in the days, this would probably have been just, atmospheric death doom, because to me it mostly reminds me old Anathema and maybe even more so My Dying Bride. Now, whether you call this kind of a gothic take or, in the world of doom or doom death or funeral doom, it doesn't matter. Not to me anyways. My point here is this is going as dramatic as they come in the given genre. And that is obviously a good thing for people who like that kind of stuff. And it doesn't even seem to matter that this is one-man operation, because everything seems to click. Whether we're talking about the production, the songwriting, or the amount of drama, the tragicness here, everything seems to click. If only this was a little bit more memorable, and I would call it a classic album already. Now it's a little bit lagging behind, but then again, it's the first album by this project. But everything seems to fit in their own box and their relatively own, compartment, if I can say that. Meaning a lot of these things make a lot of sense on this album. So it's good in its own genre, and if you're a fan of the genre, there is no reason why not to check this one out. It's best of the pile this time. like easily, and I'm definitely hoping there will be a new album by this band, because this was already released in 2020, old as fuck. Like I said, it has been in my review pile for quite some time because it arrived old already. But music never gets old, especially if it's good, so it doesn't matter. Maybe 5 years now late to the original party, but here it is. So, in case you like some of the bands, I get you interested in some of these names, you will check out the links, I hope, to get some information, to listen to the music samples and all that stuff. So do yourself a favor, give these guys a listen. If you like them, go buy them. And off you go.